Well, after many trials and tribulations, we are finally able to make a video hookup with our own Nick Dixon, who's been on assignment in the Caribbean covering the aftermath of the devastating earthquake in Haiti that struck more than 3 weeks ago. Now, Nick, it is so great to see you. We've been following you on your blog. Just tell us, how have you been over the last week?
Well, we've been just fine, Kate. I mean, we've been here, like you said, for almost a week now. We've seen some absolutely amazing sights. We've been spent our first time in Jacmel, but yesterday afternoon we arrived via Canadian helicopter, a Sea King helicopter. We flew across the country from Jacmel into Port-au-Prince, right into the airport here, and from there we found some accommodation for the evening. When we arrived, the sun was kind of setting, so it was a little bit hard to see really what the devastation looked like, but we had a pretty good sense already how bad it really is in Port-au-Prince. And I can tell you today, from driving around since about 8 o'clock this morning throughout Port-au-Prince, the devastation here, I would describe it like this. It was eye-popping when we were in Jacmel, but it's mind-boggling when you see what's going on here in Port-au-Prince. Literally, every street looks the same. The amount of rubble and the amount of debris that's come down, the amount of people that are just sitting outside their homes because they still, 3 weeks later, don't feel safe whatsoever going back inside their homes and staying there. So the city is lined with tents or just makeshift shelters. Behind me is one of the displaced persons camps in the sort of main part of downtown Port-au-Prince. These sort of camps here behind me are all over Port-au-Prince. Thousands upon thousands of people are tucked in there. All kinds of NGO and relief workers are in there trying to get them food, trying to get them water, trying to get them medical care. On the note of medical care, earlier today, we spent about 3 hours at the University Hospital in Port-au-Prince. Of course, our viewers will remember that last Tuesday, when we had that Haiti media telethon in Hamilton with all of the media, much of the money raised from that is going towards hospitals that St. Joe's and Hamilton have a connection with in Haiti. That is the University Hospital where we were at today. That was a scene that was absolutely shocking. We were walking through various tents set up, whether it was a pediatric ward, a maternity ward, a triage area, a recovery area, a post-op area, which were these scorching hot tents. Mothers were waving cardboard or paper or whatever they could off their babies who were either sick or injured or just born in the last several weeks here in Haiti. Very emotional, very powerful stuff to see these kind of things. The executive director of the hospital was telling me today that at this point about 50% of the people there are injured from the earthquake. The other 50% are now dealing with outbreaks of an infectious disease like diarrhea and such. Half of their structure, maybe not half, but a lot of their structure has been destroyed. The entire operating area, for example, has been destroyed. So they're now performing operations in the urology unit, which is where we were able to get inside to today. Again, we've just really arrived in the Port-au-Prince region where we can actually get you some live hits. So we're going to be working on feeding some more tape, but I'll be happy to answer any questions you've got for me now.
Nick, you know what? We've only got about a minute left, but there's something that's really hard to get across through TV, but the smell, that's what a lot of people have been talking about. Haiti's a country where garbage pickup is regularly only once a year, and now you were even saying in your blog that it's really overpowering.
Yeah, it depends really where you go, Kate. And the garbage pickup is, we've seen a few garbage trucks, but really more people, there is so much trash right now, they're either burning it or just dumping it in these canals that normally work as sewers to wash away a lot of rains during the rainy season. So they are just littered with plastic bottles, debris, paper, rubble, etc. We also understand that in Port-au-Prince specifically, there are still thousands of dead bodies beneath all of that rubble and debris in the canals that are used as the waterways. So yeah, some areas smell. The hospital had various pretty foul smells, but overall we haven't had to put our masks on yet. It hasn't been so overpowering that we felt like it's time to mask up. I believe it's a lot better than it was just a few weeks ago, but we've got a lot of compelling stories which we're bringing to you now throughout the next few days. Back to you, Kate.
Nick, you know what? We do have some more time, so if you do have a minute and you can stick with us to answer a few more questions. Okay. Where exactly are you staying right now in Port-au-Prince? Yeah. And is it safe? You were embedded with the Navy, now you're not.
That's right. We were embedded earlier or last week, but we have now left the embed program because in order to get into Port-au-Prince, we basically had to. Where we're staying now is a place called Hope House. It's part of the Lazarus Project Haiti, which is actually run by a woman from Hamilton, a really interesting woman who's lived in Port-au-Prince for about 20 years now. So we're staying up on their compound. It's very secure. They've rebuilt all of the walls that did collapse, and it has a good security gate, etc. We have a driver that they've been able to set us up with who speaks very good English. He's actually been working as a translator for us as well. And so he's been able to help us fumble our way around, as it were. He's helped sort of smooth that process out. Because I've got to tell you, no matter what you're doing here, everything takes so much more time than you can ever imagine back home. A 5-mile drive this morning took us an hour and a half. Conversations, of course, are a little bit jilted, so those are taking a lot longer than you would normally expect. Everything really works on a major delay, partly because of language barriers and partly because this country has been devastated and is working hard to rebuild, and it is still, in many ways, chaotic. The streets are crowded with cars 24/7. You can probably hear the horns honking behind me. People are walking around trying to get to building sites, trying to help work to repair this country, or trying to help their families either live, get better, or stay safe.
And Nick, what has been the reaction from the locals, from you when you're there? You're there with the camera. There's so many other media outlets there. Are they receptive to you? Are they positive? What has it been like?
Yeah, they are. It's interesting, and it really helps, again, that we have this local interpreter, as it were, who's driving us around, because he's been able to explain to them. I think that perhaps after 3 weeks or so of having reporters and cameras in hospitals and in their faces, that maybe some of the locals are getting weary about, well, what is this? Why are you still here? But he's really explaining, we're here to tell the stories of what's happening for people that are from Hamilton and from our area, to explain to them what's going on, because so many people in our viewing area have been so generous in helping donate and helping Haiti in its rebuilding process, whether it's from a healthcare perspective or from a food perspective or a water perspective. Canadians, of course, overall have been generous. So he's really explaining to them, we are here telling more of their stories, and the hope is from a lot of people here that will help, of course, have more people send aid to Haiti, because if Haiti falls off the radar, this country will really just fall into a significant state of decay. That is something that would clearly not be a good thing for Haiti. The country wasn't doing very well to begin with. This earthquake was such a massive setback as well that they need their story told. People need to know what's really happening here.
And Nick, one last question. Barring technical issues, if we can hook up with you again later tonight, what will be some of the stories that you will be sending down to us?
Certainly the hospital story. I really want people to see what we saw today at that hospital, because that will move you, perhaps for some of our viewers, even to tears. And just to hear some of the comments of the chief of the hospital we spoke to. He's been working 18 to 20-hour days for the last 3 weeks or so. We've spoken to a couple of Canadians as well, working for different missions, who are down there. Just blown away by how the Haitians, how resilient they are and how stoic they are in the face of such challenges, such extreme circumstances and extreme challenges. Many of them still have smiles on their faces. Many of them still have a fantastic disposition, and it's just unbelievable when you think, to try to picture the devastation we have seen in our own country. I don't know how people would handle it, but here I have to give them incredible amounts of credit. They're handling it exceptionally well.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick. Now, stay safe. We are all looking forward so much to seeing your stories and following you on your blog, nickdixon.ca. Thanks again for joining us, Nick.
All right. Thanks, Kate.
That's our time for right now. We'll be back in just 2 minutes with our top stories.